welcome back to My Sister Said. Today I'm going to be talking about university, the application process and my journey so far. Obviously today's video is a little bit different because I don't have Paige with me here today, but she has just gave birth to our little baby girl, so hopefully on the next one she will tell you all about it and maybe you'll even get to meet her as well. So yeah, a little bit of background before I get into like the main part of the video. I'm currently studying psychology with forensic psychology at the University of Kent, but it has taken me a little bit of a while to get to this point, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So regarding the application process, personally I went to sixth form and I studied my A-levels. I studied classics, English literature and law. And when I was in sixth form, I was literally so determined from the very beginning that I was going to study law at university, and I always had my mind set on a university in London. So when it came to the UCAS sort of application starting and everything, I wrote my personal statement specifically, tailored to someone who wanted to study law. And all the way throughout my A-levels, I would do like extracurricular stuff and like things behind the scenes, which were all to do with law. So I would do like barrister insight evenings, solicitor insight evenings. I did the Young Lawyers programme in London. So everything that I did was sort of to get me to where I wanted to be. So I applied for all of my universities for law, and they were all in London because I don't know why, I just literally had my heart set on London. And then I went through my A-level exams. My A-level exams were my whole entire life. Like, I've literally never worked so hard for anything in my life, and I was so dedicated because I knew exactly where I wanted to be. I knew exactly what university I wanted to go to. I knew what I wanted to study. And I feel as though in my head when I was doing A-levels, I had this like picture of what university was going to be like for me and what the course was going to be like and where I was going to be in like 10 years with this degree and like with like studying at that university, which is fine. Like, if you have that is totally fine, but for me, unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Thankfully, in August, when I opened my A-level results and UCAS and everything, I did get into the university that I'd picked as my first choice. So that meant that I was moving to London, which was really exciting at the time, and literally couldn't be happier. I'd worked for it so hard and that was what I wanted. That is literally all that I wanted throughout those whole 2 years that I was at sixth form. That was what I wanted to get, was to get into that university. So roll around to September and I moved to London and I started the degree. I started doing a degree in law with integrated masters, and I was so hopeful for my life in London. Like, I'd pictured this for years. I had really high expectations for university and London in itself, like everything, and unfortunately it didn't work out how I wanted to. I feel like I had a gut feeling as soon as I got there that something just was not right, like something wasn't for me, and I didn't know what it was, so I just kept going, like went to university. I did meet people on my course, and yeah, I sort of just try to put it at the back of my mind that I thought that something was wrong. But then it got to around March 2020 and I just thought, I actually don't know what I'm doing and I hate it here. Like, London was the loneliest place ever, and personally for me, I didn't like the university. It just wasn't the right university for me. A lot of the students that went to this university were home students, so they all lived in London. Obviously I'm from Newcastle and I'd moved all the way down here. Like, I couldn't just go home. So yeah, it got to about March and I thought, I need to make a change now or it's gonna literally hurt me in the worst ways. So my idea was to continue with first year and complete my first year, which I did anyway. I did that regardless of everything that had happened, and I thought I would apply for Newcastle to be closer to home, and I thought that would work out a little bit better. So I applied for Newcastle and Northumbria for law because I thought that I could move back home and be close to home and have my friends there and, you know, just feel a little bit more comfortable. So that's what I did, and I did get a place at Northumbria, so I was all set on obviously completing my first year in London and then continuing on in Newcastle for the rest of my degree. And then during lockdown, I just thought to myself, what do I actually want? Like, what do I want from university? Where do I want to be? Where do I want to live? Where do I want my life to be? Not just now, but like in the future as well. And my whole thing when I very first applied to uni was the fact that I wanted to move away from home. Like, I wanted to have the whole experience and, you know, really feel like I was moving away and moving out and everything. And I really feel like London tarnished that for me, like completely. It put a really bad picture on moving away from home because I'd had such an awful experience when I first did it. And then not only did I think about my living circumstances, but I also thought about the degree that I was studying. And this for me sort of like broke my heart a little bit because I'd spent so much time focused in sixth form and dedicating literally my whole life to law. When I started thinking and doubting the fact that I was studying this degree, it really hit home. Like, even when I think about it now, it makes me feel quite upset. But I just knew that I needed to think about what I actually want instead of what I'd just been focusing on. Like, what do you want? What will make you happy? So I started doing a little bit more research into universities and degree programs and all of that sort of stuff. And I obviously thought back to my A-level subjects as well. And one of the A-level subjects that I did mention that I did do was classics. And I loved classics in sixth form. It was so interesting. It was so exciting. It was so exciting. I just enjoyed everything about it because it had so many different things in it as well. So it had like literature, you had history, a little bit of language in there, and I really enjoyed it. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to apply to university for classics. So I did. I applied again through UCAS. So I cancelled my Newcastle and Northumbria applications, completely withdrawn from those, and then I applied to Royal Holloway and Kent. And I got my offers for both, and then I ended up going with Kent anyway, which turned out for the best, to be honest, because now I'm still at Kent and I love Kent and I love the university. I think the university is absolutely amazing. So I accepted my offer to Kent, and that was it. That was the start of this whole journey, was me then moving to Kent. So in September of 2020, I moved to Kent to study classics, and as soon as I got to Kent, literally I felt so happy. I felt like this is it, like this is where I'm supposed to be. And I felt like when I was looking back, like that was what I should have done straight away, was just look at other universities, literally just look at every single university in the UK and do your own research, which I didn't do because I wanted to be in London and I found this one university and then that was it, my mind was set. But when I obviously was having doubts and everything of what I wanted to study, I looked at every university, did my own research. There was only one issue when I first got to Kent, and that was during my first proper week of lectures with classics, and I just instantly thought, this is not what I expected. And I feel like everyone who was there studying and everything knew exactly what they were doing. I was lost, and I'd studied classics for 2 years. Like, it wasn't anything new to me. I'd already done like my A-level in it and everything, so I thought I was going into it with a good understanding, good like basis of knowledge. No, it was completely different, and I was like trying to apply myself to it, trying to get into the reading, trying to really like put myself into my degree. No, not at all. So I didn't mess about this time, because with London I feel as though I hung on way too long, and it was only at a disadvantage to myself. Like, it literally only put me in a bad position. So I thought, I need to speak to someone now before it gets too late and I can't make any changes, or I just feel really bad about my degree and I'm not enjoying it for what, like 3 or 4 years. So I made an appointment with my student advisor. My student advisor gave me some advice which actually helped me like get to where I am now. And she said, like, not everyone makes the right decision the first time, and or even the second time or the third time. It does not matter, as long as you end up where you want to be, that's all that matters. So I said to her, like, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation, because I felt silly because I'd already changed once. So I went from law to classics, and then now I'm studying classics, and I know that I don't want to do it, but what do I do? So she said to me, go back, look on Kent's website, look through all of the degree programs, really research into the degrees and what they're about and where you can go from it and all of that sort of stuff, and then make your decision and email it and just change now before you can't. So I went back to my flat and I was looking through all the degree programs, and I was speaking to my sister and I was speaking to my family, and I was just like, what on earth? And then I found psychology with forensic psychology, and I started reading through the modules and everything like that. And I was like, why on earth didn't I choose this degree when I started applying for university? It is everything that I'm interested in. It's everything that I read about in my spare time, like everything that I would watch, read, just the whole thing was what I was interested in. But silly me thought that I had to stick to law or do something that I'd done before. No, that's not the case. So I emailed the head of school and changed in that week. That was it. Done. Moved on to the next degree. As soon as I started the psychology degree, I literally knew that this is what I was supposed to be doing, because I had like so much excitement when I was studying, and like this whole new like lease of life to do with university, which I'd never experienced before. Which was literally the best feeling, and I still have that now. I still enjoy doing my work. Yes, it's hard. Yes, you have a lot of work to do, and it is extremely difficult during lockdown with online uni, but I still enjoy it and I still want to do it more than ever. The main thing I would take away from like my experience and my journey and everything is the fact that it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to not realise, first of all, what you want to do, or if the degree that you're studying is right for you. But it's fine, it's not a big deal. You can change your mind. You can completely drop out of uni and it's fine. Like, as long as you're doing what you feel is right and what you feel you want to do, then do it. So on to my university life now. I love university now. It's so sad that we don't get to be there at the minute because of lockdown and coronavirus and everything, but even the short couple of months that I did spend at university were literally the best. I met so many different people. I made a group of friends and we're all moving in together this year actually, which is so exciting, and it's literally a dream. And we're like a little group and it's very sweet, and I can't wait to see them again when we're allowed to. So the first question is, did you find it hard moving away from home and having to make new friends? I always knew that I wanted to move away from home. When I moved to London, that was really, really hard. I got homesick like 2 weeks in, I think. But when I came to Kent, I didn't find it too hard to move away from home. Obviously, that sounds really awful, but I did miss my family when I got there. But I knew that this was the right thing for me to do, and I knew that I would see them soon. And yeah, I knew that I was gonna make a life for myself down there instead of sort of like latching onto home. Making new friends and stuff, I really enjoyed Freshers Week. I really enjoyed meeting new people. I'm not really like the shyest person, so I really enjoyed it, and I put myself in it like a lot. Like, any social situation that I heard about or anything, I was like, I'm making friends, whatever. And it turned out for the best, because now I have a group of girls that I hang around with, so that's good. Someone said, what's the best and worst thing about university life? The best thing is that you get to obviously study what you want to do, and you meet a lot of new people and you work closely with people who have the same interests as you, which is nice. But the worst thing about university life at the minute is the fact that it's all online and it's just annoying. It's really irritating. I know that there's nothing we can do about it, but I do feel like university students have been neglected through this process, but that's none of my business. Someone said, do you believe that you will pursue your course in the future, and how? Yes, I do. I think personally, I still think that I want to go into law. So hopefully after my psychology degree, I can do the GDL, which is a conversion course to then go on to be a lawyer. So I want to do my GDL and then my LPC and hopefully be a solicitor still. But I want to take it from a different direction and do psychology first. If I don't go into law, then I have been looking at clinical psychology, just because of the stuff that I've been through recently. It is one of the paths that I have been looking at a little bit more, but we'll see. I'm very happy where I am right now, so I'm sort of just trying to enjoy that at the moment, but I do feel like I will use the degree. Someone said, how is your university life now? Do you enjoy it despite the pandemic? I don't really have a university life, to be fair, because I just study from home and I'm not at uni at the moment, but I'm sure if I was there I would be enjoying it, but I'm not. Someone said, how are you finding the teaching quality for your degree now compared to pre-COVID? Pre-COVID, I was at a different university, and personally I don't think the teaching quality there was the best, but haven't mentioned any names, so it's okay. But the teaching quality for my degree now, I think some modules are better than others, some module leaders are better than others, but we're all trying our best. I can't really criticise anyone, but I would love it to be in person, but for now we'll just have to work with what we've got. So that is all the questions that I'm going to answer today. I really hope that you did enjoy this video, and I hope that anyone who is in a similar situation to what I was, I hope that this helps you, and I hope that you feel a little bit better about the fact that you might be having doubts or maybe second guessing yourself a little bit. But yeah, that was my journey, and I'm very happy where I am now. I'm glad that I made the changes that I did, and I'm glad that I went through like a little bit of a roller coaster to get where I am, because it sort of taught me a lot of lessons along the way about what I actually want, which is good, and I definitely needed it. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to like and subscribe, follow our Instagram, follow our individual Instagrams, and hopefully me and Paige will do a video together soon. So I really hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you later. Bye!